Hey you guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews here, getting our final review of Complete Control by Misery Index. Alright guys, so Complete Control has been on full rotation all week long, and I guess I'll just start by saying that the album's pretty good. I didn't have any real huge, massive issues with it. I played it a lot. It's short, it's 33 minutes, so short albums get a lot of rotations, which is kind of detrimental because you get bored of them faster that way, especially when they don't have a lot of unique content on them, which I feel like this album lacked that a little bit. But there is stuff on the album that does stand out a bit. Overall, this band is a good band. They play good metal. Like if I'm in a car with somebody, or if I'm at somebody's house and they put this on, I'm not going to complain, right? If I hear this playing on a PA system, I'm not going to complain. But it's not necessarily something that I'd want to pick and choose myself. It's just, there's something stylistically that's missing for me. But with that said, some tracks that stood out, and this is without going into a lot of detail because I don't really have a lot to say about them. The first track, Administer the Dagger, I just think is a good intro track. Why? Not entirely sure. It's just good album opener. It just does what it needs to do. Track number 3, Complete Control, so the title track, it's a pretty average song, but the outro groove is sick. Really dirty. And this band does have a bunch of really cool grooves that I like. Another one, this is probably the best part on the entire album in my opinion, is there's a really cool groove section right before the bridge of track number 5, Rites of Cruelty, but it's way too short. I wish it went on for a couple more bars. It just doesn't last long enough, and it leaves me wanting more, which is a problem. Like I never want to feel that way when I'm listening to music. I want to be satisfied when I hear something, not, oh, this is pretty good, this is not, oh, that's it? Damn it, right? And that's how I felt. The last track, Now Defied, is a great outro track. So the bookends of this album are fucking solid. Goes super hard, just out with a bang kind of thing. Best song on the album for me was Necessary Suffering, track number 4. The problem with it is, to me, it sounded like a ripoff of a Dying Fetus song. Now I thought, and I mentioned this to you the other day, I thought it was a direct riff stolen from a song that I knew, which was Womb to Waste. But I listened to Womb to Waste again, and it's not that song. I listened to some other stuff off Reign Supreme, because I'm pretty sure it's something off there, and I couldn't pinpoint exactly which song it reminds me of. So I'm just going to say, it reminds me of Dying Fetus, just flat out. It's different than the rest of the songs on this album. I don't know if you noticed that. The track number 4, Necessary Suffering, for some reason, has a different vibe. It has more of a brutal death metal vibe, whereas the other songs are more straight death metal, heavy metal type of stuff. So, I don't know. It's my best song on the album, my favorite song on the album, but
and it sounds like a different band.
It sounds like a different band. Or it sounds like this band trying to be a different band. Mm-hmm. But, so, yeah, take that for what it's worth.
Well, I do share a few opinions with you about it. I think the length, honestly, is probably one of my biggest problems with this album. It's just way too short for an album of its kind. You know, because I honestly found things blending together quite often. There was a cool moment or two here or there, but then that song would immediately end, and it's just like, oh. And I think Now Defied is like a perfect example of that. That's probably one of my favorite tracks from what I've heard, like out of this album throughout the week. That one was standing out as a song I liked. It's too short. It's like 2 minutes. I'm like, yeah, this is a sick track, and then it's over. Oh, the album's over. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, it's like like first track is pretty cool as an intro track. I think I mentioned last week it kind of reminded me of Behemoth. Still does. Not to say it sounds just like Behemoth. It reminds me of something Behemoth would do.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It definitely has that.
It's a cool intro, and like it's a good intro track, and that last track is good. And it's like, it's hard to really, like, I liked Rites of Cruelty, but it's like, I can barely even remember why, and that part of that is because a lot of this album is sounding kind of samey to me. It's a good album, and I feel the same way as you, is that if it came on, if someone put it on, I'd be down with it. If I was bored and wanted to throw something on to just have on, I'm cool with it. It's a good album to just have on and listen to, be like, yeah, this is pretty good, but it's so short, and there really isn't many super memorable moments. You know, it just kind of felt like, okay, here's this thing, that's it. It's done. So it's really hard for me to really latch onto the album if it's not really giving me much super notable stuff, although it is still a good album with good riffs It hits hard. Like I said, especially that last track, Now Defied is great. Just like add a solo or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Add like an extended section, a big bridge, just something to push it to more average song length, so you can really like get all the juice out of that. Great.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll rate it. I'm gonna go first. I mean, we basically gave our thoughts about it. I'm not going to drag this on too long. I'm going to give it a 5.5, which might sound like a mean score, but at the end of the day, I feel like this album's very mid. I feel like it's very mid. I feel like it's decent enough to put on whenever, but it doesn't really have many really strong points at all, right? So it's going to get a 5.5 from me.
As for myself, I mean, this album, is not a bad album. I can't say that because it has some good stuff on it, and that's nice. There is some good I can say about it, but it's just not really super notable. It's just kind of just, that's what it is. So I'm actually going to match your score of 5.5. It's fine. That's kind of all I can really say. And I feel like if they maybe took a few more steps to kind of really construct it as a bigger composition a bit more, and by that I mean adding some more contour to it, which not only gives it a more noticeable direction, it also gives it a little bit more length so you don't just kind of finish it in half an hour and that's just it.
Gives it more character too.
Exactly.
Anyways, guys, that's it for this review. So leave your comments down below. Let us know what you guys think of Misery Index and this new album, Complete Control. Sound off down below. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV
We'll
Fish.
see you guys on the next one. Keep those heads down.